and Victory Circle, Victory Podium. He'll join us here momentarily, as will Christian Lundgaard. Joined now, though, by the driver of the number 12 Horizon Business, Team Penske Chevrolet, and Will Power with his third runner-up finish of 2024. His 101st career podium, which is fourth all-time, breaking the tie that he had set at Barber Motorsports Park a couple of weeks ago with Michael Andretti. 31st career runner-up finish, which ties him for sixth all-time with Al Unser. And Will, I know you're already kind of thinking back to the race a little bit. Just your thoughts on a podium finish to begin your month of May here.
Yeah, it's I don't know what else we could have done there. I think that was a very solid day from us. You know, we tried the undercut. It's just a little bit cooler today where the undercut wasn't quite as strong. But yeah, I mean, we gave it all we got. Once again, my boys on pit lane were full, gaining me positions that it's actually at Barber's 2 races in a row, we jumped Lundgaard in a pit stop. But yeah, I'm lucky to have them, man. They're solid. But yeah, it was just a solid day. Just didn't quite have enough on that restart. I had to lift coming on the last corner. I just had too much push, so I had to lift. Otherwise, it would have been an interesting battle into turn one. I didn't know whether to go for the inside or the outside, but he made it, very clear that he was going to block the inside, so kind of went the outside, but just wasn't far enough along to make it work.
All told, you head into the 500 now. I know it's difficult to talk about points. Here we are in May. We're not talking about it in July or August, but now 12 points out of the championship. You're very much in the hunt with a bunch of second-place finishes, so this is a decent start for you here this season.
Not a bad start. Yeah, good start. Only thing we're lacking is a win. Yeah, that would have made a better start to the season. But we're there every week. We're there every week. It's there to be taken if we do everything perfectly. So, I just wish I was a bit more like Dixon, where some of them just fall in place for you. It's like, yeah, yellow drops here, and you start on blacks. You didn't qualify, you qualified, so you got your reds and da-da-da. Yeah, it doesn't seem to flow like that for me. I don't know why. Like every win I get is just like the hardest fought win. So I'll take an easy one at some point. I'll take that. The next one, the next race, if it was an easy give me and I got absolutely lucky, I would be very proud of that.
I was going to say maybe the next one would be the easy one for you.
Yeah, if I got like just a total luck, like the dude should not have won. He wasn't the quickest, but he did. So I'd be like, yes, I'm taking that. I am taking it.
Don't even worry about it. All right, we'll begin with questions in person. Everyone online, we'll try to get your questions. Hit the virtual raise hand button and let us know if you have a question. Madeline, let's begin here in the front row with Bruce. Then we'll go Nate Ryan in the back.
Hey, Will, in lieu of everything that's happened the past couple of weeks, have you become the steady hand at Team Penske? Because you've been on the podium the last 2 races, the only driver out of the 3 that's done that.
No, I mean, yeah, honestly, it has run very well this weekend, even though with everything that's happened, everyone's got their head down, they're working hard. Yep, disappointing, all that sort of played out, but, very focusing forward, not even thinking about sort of the penalties. It is just one of those things, it was a mistake and it happened. And, when you're a top team like Penske, people certainly like to really blow everything up and make a big deal of it, although it was just a mistake. It was actually a mistake. I know. I was testing when the software was put in. It's just one of those things. So, yeah. Man, I've just kept my head down, try to block out all the noise. Looking forward. That's my job. My job is to turn up every week and give my absolute best and be professional and race to the best of my ability, and that's what I'm doing. I'm working hard and trying to get a win, but just being smart.
Joined now, obviously, by Christian Lundgaard, who led 35 of the 85 laps this afternoon, driving the number 45 Hy-Vee Honda for Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing with his first podium of the season, second podium on the IMS road course, third career podium as well. Christian, welcome. Congratulations on another podium here at IMS road course layout. Just your thoughts on the third place here today.
Happy to be disappointed, I would say. I think that's becoming an expression in the RLL engineering truck. Sometimes we're just happy to be disappointed, but no, I'm proud of the team. We qualified well at Barber, and I think considering how we handled Long Beach in terms of strategy, trying to get too much out of what I think we could have, hurt us on the pure result. So going into Barber, it was a pure strategy of just get through the race and make sure that we get a good result. And coming here, there was a minimum, which was a podium, and we got it. But yeah. I wanted it to be a win.
More questions? We'll go Nate and then Joey. Go ahead, Nate.
Yeah, I got a few for Will. Your engineer obviously handled double duty with the strategy. Festino obviously did really well with that. Do you anticipate it will stay that way the next 2 weeks? Will he remain in that dual role?
I anticipate he will be at the 500. I expect that to be the case. I think. I can't see why not. It's did a very good job. Like, didn't really have any issues. So, and he's done it for so long. Like, I mean, he calls ultimately he has a lot to do with the strategy anyway. He just doesn't call it. So yeah, I would expect him to be in that same position.
And there was a moment during the race, I can't remember like which pit stop it was, but I think you were behind Marcus Ericsson, and it was either Christian or Pelot was coming out. Did Ericsson kind of hold you up a little bit there?
Yes, he definitely. I mean, he's on the lead lap, right? Like, I'm guessing, so there's nothing that he did wrong. It just happened to be in that spot. It would be nice if he let me go. There's just, it's just not, like, he's racing too. If he's a lap down, yes, that sort of thing is very frustrating. But if he's, you're pitting into where he is on track, well, that's on us. We took the risk, maybe hoping we would jump ahead of that car. I don't know. But, that certainly stopped my chance of getting Christian. It wasn't, it's just, if he's on the lead lap, it's not on him to let me go.
Right on. And then last one for me is you said again after this race, Indy 500, Chevy's good. You're really looking forward to it. Like, what gives you all this confidence? Knowing you haven't even been, I know you did the test, but you've been saying this, I feel like, since the start of the season. Is it things you're seeing in data?
I just know the work. I just know the work that we've done. I know that we've improved from last year, put it that way. Just cracked in the top 12 last year. And it was a top 9 or top 12? 12, isn't it? Top 12. And we've definitely improved on that quite a bit, I feel. So I kind of think that we should, and everyone else had something taken away with those push rods, so I feel like we should be right there. You don't know. I mean, everyone's working hard as well, other teams can improve. I just know that we've improved.
Let's go Joey, then Chris. Go ahead, Joey.
Will, I mean, obviously not having two people on your team this weekend, but still coming away with the same result that you got at Barber with a second. So, I mean, what kind of statement does this say about your team?
Yeah, I mean, the team just has good people. You could lose a couple, and then, the slack is taken up pretty easily. So, I think every stand ran pretty flawlessly, even though we were lacking people. So, that's just the way that team is. It's got a lot of depth, a lot of good people. It's easy to move people around and put them in different positions, and they perform at a really high standard. So, not surprising.
And then Christian, coming to you, obviously we anticipate the pace of RLL here on the road course, but we're changing to the oval. That was a big topic for you guys last year. What do you kind of anticipate whenever we get unloading on Tuesday?
We are definitely going to be better than we have been the past 2 years. I think the statement that we're gonna want to make is the last 2 years was the last 2 years. We are moving forward, and we've forgotten about that, and we have made improvements. The question is, how much better is it going to be?
Chris?
Will, at Barber and also yesterday, you mentioned that, you've been knocking on the proverbial door. It's got to be busted off the hinges almost. At what point does frustration take over? Or is it just, hey, good points day, we're only 12 back heading to the 500?
Yeah, anytime you're finishing on the podium, it's a good day. It really is. It's a tough series. But yes, it is frustrating seeing that it's right there for you, even on a restart. You're pretty determined, but you can only do what you can do. It's just only so much risk you can take without having a bad day if it doesn't come off. So yep, definitely on my mind often to try win a race, but also fighting for championships nice. We'll see. I mean, if you keep knocking on the door like that, I just know eventually you're going to get a win.
Thanks.
Ben.
Thanks. Hey, Christian, congratulations. How important is it for you going into the month, into the Indy 500, having Takuma Sato as your teammate this year?
He's won the race a couple of times, so he knows what he's doing, and I think it's good that he was the last race winner the team had. He won in 2020 with the team, and I think it's good to unite that package. And I think that was the last really good running show that RLL put up for the 500. So having him back, I think, is good in terms of showing what the car really can do. But we have been out of the window the last couple of years, and a lot of improvements have been made for this year. So I think he's going to be able to show what the car can do.
Awesome. Thanks.
Christian, with TV, you were talking about luck and how that really does play a factor in racing, and Will was just talking about it as well. Can you kind of just explain how big of a factor luck is in IndyCar?
Well, I think you create your own luck as well. And I think today on our performance today, we really did the best job that I think we could on the first two stints. And I think we were a little bold trying to put on another sticker set of primes for the third stint. But the alternative was a very used alternate tire that we had to put a long way as well in the race. And I preferred the primary tires there. I think the luck aspect is, the question was, how did you get around Alex in turn one? And I've said, I guess, luck. Because in the end, it's a little bit of hit and miss here in turn one in the start. Yeah.
And then you talked a little bit about the oval coming up with the 500. As far as your mentality goes, what's the biggest difference between a road course or an oval?
Everything. Yeah, I mean, I guess we're going about 80 to 100 miles an hour faster, so that's an aspect of it. But no, I think as a team, I'm going in this year, especially to the ovals, with the mindset of let's take what we can get, because the past couple of years we've just struggled so much just getting pure pace out of the car. So now knowing that the car is faster, I'm also tempted to push it an extra bit, but we need the results. We need finishes.
And then, Will, obviously you've won a 500 before. You kind of are just talking about how you keep getting second, keep getting these podium finishes. What does it take to win a 500 or just any race? What does it take?
It's going to be a perfect day, man. I remember the day I won the 500 was a perfect day on strategy, pit stops, everything, no mistakes. I mean, there wasn't really any mistakes today. It's just circumstance, qualifying, little mistake, put you on the back foot. So it's just some days if you keep working hard, it just falls together for you at some point.
Time for one more follow-up or two. Go ahead, Bruce.
Well, in football, they have a term, next man up. Do you feel that at Team Penske, your bench is so deep that your second and third string crew members are probably better than a lot of teams' first teamers?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of depth there. A lot of depth and guys that have been there a long time, so it's a well-oiled machine. You can miss a couple of cogs and it still works.
Is that why this latest bump in the road has been nothing more than a bump in the road?
Yeah, it's not a big deal. Not a big deal. I mean, it's disappointing, but just one of those things.
Joey, you can wrap us up with second and third place. Go ahead.
Christian, whenever you were talking about the move to the primaries, I think that's kind of whenever Alex got the overcut, if I remember correctly. So I'm just kind of curious, was that more the balance on your car and what you ended up struggling with? Was that more of the balance because of the primaries, or was that also the combination of the clean air, not having clean air?
Honestly, I think we're actually quite competitive on outlaps. I think the red tires were the preferred tires today, but going into the race, I think everybody was in the unknown. I think everybody had a question mark: is it going to be a 50-50 or a 70-30 in terms of one compound being preferred? But like I said before, I knew my options. My other alternate tires was pretty used, so the alternative was using those and hoping they would last. So I chose the sticker primaries because we were one of the most competitive cars in qualifying on blacks on the primary tires. So I didn't see a reason why not to use them. But I think Alex was just fast today. He was fast here last year, in May, in August. He's fast wherever we go, really. So, yeah.
Thanks, man.
Congratulations. Great way to start the month of May for you two. Thank you so much. Will Power, Christian Lundgaard, Alex Palou on his way shortly as he joins us to wrap up this day here at the Speedway. Stand by for Alex.
Better get some fresh water up there, Dave. I'm trying. He wants to win that badly. I forgot. I don't think it would have been too cold of
Okay, once again, wrapping up today's Sonsio Grand Prix with this year's champion, back-to-back champion, in fact, of the Sonsio Grand Prix here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course. We welcome in Alex Pillow, who led 39 of the 85 laps, driver the number 10 DHL Chip Ganassi Racing Honda with his first win of the 2024 championship. 10th career win, as you now also assume the points lead, up 12 over Will Power. Just take us through, not lap by lap, but certainly you lost the lead at the very beginning, but stayed with it, obviously.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me that. But
I'm here for it.
yeah, honestly, it wasn't a great start from my side. Did a mistake, overshooted the braking a little bit, and just locked and lost that place. Went into the grass a little bit, so wasn't my best start. But yeah, I was just looking forward to getting that back and try and get the lead back. But then we lost another place, I think, on the first stint with Power. We were on the blacks, the primaries at that time. But honestly, our pace was a lot better than I thought on the primaries. So we were able to stay with them. They pitted early. We overcut them both. And from that point, we stayed on the lead. So yeah, I would say that today the hard part was done by my crew, the number 10 crew, my engineers and my mechanics on giving that first position back, and I just had to control from the lead from them.
Chip called it a team win afterwards. Certainly it was that. But then on the restart, maybe a little nervousness from you. You got to keep everybody behind you. How did you do that?
Yeah, it wasn't easy. It's a very big straight. Like, if you look, I would say that it's probably the biggest straight that we have. And it's the worst for restarts because it's easy to get a toe. So also had a longer first gear than Power did. So when I went on Power on throttle, he had a bigger jump than myself because my first gear was so tall. So wasn't great, but kept the lead there, did my job, and yeah, we were able to finish up front.
Yeah, congratulations again. Great
Thank
way
you.
to start the month of May. Questions for Alex Palou? We'll go ahead and begin here with Chris, and then Nathan Brown after that. We'll work around the room.
Alex, the last time that DHL won a race, you hadn't even started in Super Formula yet. How important is it to have a new sponsor bring them into victory lane, especially at a track like this?
Oh, really? 2018? Yeah, I mean, they since day one, they told me that they were hungry to win. So it's great. I was a bit disappointed that when we won a thermal, obviously it wasn't with them to give them, because it's tough to get wins, and it's not easy to get two in a year, even if that one doesn't count on points. But yeah, it's great to give them a win. The first one together is probably the most difficult one to get, and hopefully we can get one more this month.
Nathan?
Alex, looking back on a year ago, this win that you had on the IMS road course set you into a streak of winning 4 and 5 races that went all the way into early July. Thinking back on that, is there a time in there where you felt like things really just started to click and where that run kind of came together momentum-wise?
Yeah, last year was special. I mean, we got the win here, the pole at the GP, then 3 wins in a row. Like, it felt amazing. Every time we were on track, we were P1. So that felt super good. But it's tough. I mean, if something doesn't go 100% nowadays in IndyCar, there's somebody that is there to take the win from you. At Barber, I thought that we were in a really good position. And then a yellow just took us out of the race for the win. And I think this year it's been like that. Like, we've been feeling that we're there, ready to fight, and didn't really get a chance until today, except St. Pete, that we didn't really have speed. But yeah, I mean, it feels good. Hopefully we can get that momentum that we have now and carry it the same way as we did last year.
You have a chance to do something no one has ever done yet in the 10 years of this road course race on the IndyCar calendar, winning both the pole in the 500 and the road course race, and both wins in those races as well. I don't know if that's something that you knew. What would that mean to you if you were able to pull that off for the next couple weeks?
Man, if we're able to pull that off, I think it's going to be some crazy weeks after the Indy 500. So we're working towards that. We know we have a fast car. Obviously, we got the pole here last year, but it's the competition is tight, so they never give you anything. So yeah, the focus now is on qualifying, try and get the pole. But we want to win the Indy 500. In a couple of hours, I'll switch to Indy 500 mode. But it would mean, I don't know what it would mean. It would mean everything.
And last question, are you running the same car chassis-wise that you ran in last year's 500, do you know?
Oh, yes. Yes,
Okay.
It's the same car.
Okay. Thanks.
Let's go next door. Nate, go ahead.
I was surprised when I looked up. This was your first victory since Mid-Ohio last July. So even...
No,
oh, that's
Portland.
right. Okay, never mind. Well, I gotta go fix that in my story.
Well, and thermal.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that
Okay,
doesn't-
you don't
that,
count
that doesn't
one,
really
I know.
count.
But still, it was the same competition for us. Like, for us, it was as hard as like thermal. Nobody counts thermal as a win, but for us, we were competing against the same competitors. But yeah, anyway,
Right.
since Portland.
All right, right on. So it didn't feel that long, in other words, since your last win.
Yeah,
Obviously,
it
even
felt-
though it was Portland.
I mean, it felt
Thermal counts.
long. Yeah,
Yeah.
It always feels long. If it's not the last one, it always feels long. But I felt like this year, it's been good. It's been there, like we've been around, but didn't really get a perfect race like today, where we could just get 100% of the car and myself to get the win. So yeah, it felt long.
But one thing I am sure about is this is your first victory as a father. So was that cool to? have your
Yeah,
daughter in
amazing.
victory lane?
First time that she's on the podium, also first pole. So it's pretty cool. I mean, it's extra special. We got a couple of photos with her, and yeah, cannot wait to get many more.
A reminder that tomorrow's Mother's Day, by the
Yeah,
way. So,
happy Mother's Day to all the
so
mothers there,
just-
especially my wife and my mom.
Yes. trying to help you out here. So all
Thank
right.
you. I don't have to buy any gifts. I sent already one to my mom, which she will get tomorrow. It was her birthday yesterday, yeah. Yeah, but I need to get something tonight for Esther.
You might want to, just a thought.
Yeah. Flowers? Or?
Sure. Card, flowers, candy, trophy, paella. Yeah. All right, Ben, save us from this. Go
I was
ahead.
going to say fried chicken as well, but you said you're not having that.
That's not going to work. No.
Congratulations, Alex. Obviously, yourself and Scott have won so far this season. How much of an advantage does that give you guys going into the Indy 500, knowing that you have a car that is capable of winning?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, even though last year we were really good, every year starts from zero. Everybody starts with the same points and same amount of wins, and it's good to get that out of the way early in the season. I mean, I had years where didn't win until the last race, like 2022. So it's good to get that out of the way. But then when we switch the car and we switch the track to the other side, it doesn't translate what happened this weekend. We need to start all over again and try and work through the same things to try and get on Saturday and Sunday with speed.
Okay. And in terms of Marcus Armstrong's performance today, how impressed were you with him?
Yeah, he first time in the top 5, right? I mean, I think he's been working very hard, and he's been knocking on that door a lot. Still hasn't had the perfect weekend where everything fits for him, but he's been really fast. Even last year here in August, I think he qualified 7th, and unfortunately I took him out on the first lap. But he's been really good. Barber, he went into the Fast 6, was the only car of the team in the Fast 6, and it's great that he got his first top 5. I'm sure that he will have a couple of wins this year.
Excellent. Well, congratulations. And
Thank you.
Best of luck for the month of May.
Thank you.
Let's go back row, then Joey. Go ahead.
Noah Carmichael with Mighty Mac. Alex, you dominated this race last year and then dominated a Raider.
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't see. I was like...
You're all good. You dominated this race last year and you dominated the last half of this race this year. Just what is it about this circuit in particular that suits you so well and suits your driving style that allows you to just run away with these races, which, like the likes of which we haven't seen since, like, I believe, Will Power back in 2014 or 15 and 16?
I don't know. It's tough, but it's one of those races that you're not really limited on tires, on tire deck, so you can just go hard, and it's about the pace that you have. So I would say that last year, May 2023, was we had a lot more advantage than what we had this year. But still, I think the tire advantage we had at the last 10 on the new alternates that we saved helped us to open that gap. But yeah, for sure, I would say just the fact that we can go 100% just pushing every single lap, maybe that's why we see bigger differences here.
Joey?
We know, Alex, we know last year what kind of level you and the team were on going to win the championship. Looking at the way things have panned out so far this year, do you feel like y'all are at the same level? Do you feel like y'all have taken another step forward?
According to them, every time I ask, they took it to the next level. So hopefully we can have a little bit more speed from the car. They've been working really, really hard. And even myself that doesn't really understand too much about mechanics, I can see the differences on the car. So having that said, I think a lot of people catched and made big steps, as we saw on the testing that we had a couple of months ago. So yeah, focusing on us, we did a lot of work, and I think that we'll have faster cars, but at the same time, I think there's other teams that will catch up.
And then I wanted to go back to the first pit stop today. Obviously, following Christian, normally we're used to seeing you go for the overcut. Whenever the leader comes in, you're staying out for an additional lap, which you ended up doing later in the race. But were you kind of shocked being called in late to come in right behind Christian at the same time?
Yes and no. I understood. Like at the end of the day, I don't really know what's going on at the track. Maybe they saw something that could have been a yellow, and in that moment, if I take the decision, because they don't know if Christian is going to pit either. So if in that moment they call me in and I stay out and a yellow comes up, I would just through a race. So I cannot really take those decisions. But I wasn't shocked. I think we had to play it aggressive, but not too aggressive. It was at the same time, we actually didn't lose any time by doing that. It's true that we didn't keep position, but anyway, I think Parr would have undercut us because he was out already for a couple of laps and we had traffic up front. So probably without traffic, we would have stayed out, but with the traffic we had, I don't think I could have gone any faster.
Thanks.
Go ahead.
I noticed on the broadcast that they like to compare your strategy to a surgeon. Do you feel like that's kind of the strategy that you have to win races?
Yeah, I mean, everything must be perfect. I guess that motorsport, it's been that way because there's so many moving parts that as soon as something goes wrong, you're out because there's other teams there and other drivers. I think our race wasn't perfect, starting with my mistake on lap 1. But from that point, it was as good as it could have been. So, yeah, I think nowadays in IndyCar, with the competition you have, you need to be 99% perfect.
Yeah, and then you kind of mentioned like the adjustments that come to the road course versus the oval, which with the 500, that's what you're going to be racing. What kind of challenges come up with having to change your mentality in just 2 weeks like that?
I mean, we need to change really fast. I mean, in like 72 hours, I think we will be back on track, right? So it comes by really quick. It's completely different car for us. Obviously, the way you drive, you cannot really attack. You need to respect this place a lot, otherwise it bites you. Not like the road course. The road course, yeah, you can have a spin and that's it. You just continue. But yeah, I don't know. It's different. You have a full week or 4 days of practice, and you can take your time to do things perfectly, step by step.
Yeah, and then kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but when you think about the 500, I know how much this course and that race in particular means to you. What would it mean for you to take that home, especially with your new perspective as a father?
Yeah, I mean, I love winning. Every race is important, and that's what I think about every day I wake up. But the 500 would mean, I don't know what it would mean, honestly. I think it's so big. It has so much history behind it. It has so much potential, and it separates the drivers from just normal drivers to legends, everybody that has won it. Yeah, it would be amazing to win it.
Do you remember your first memories of racing in the 500?
Yeah, of course. It was just like 4 or 5 years ago. So yeah.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Tim May, you're next. Eduardo Almos, stand by. We'll come to you off of Zoom. Go ahead, Timmy.
Hey, Alex, number one on that restart where you moved way to the right and stuff, when did you decide to make that move? Was it instantaneous, or did you plan that as you're coming out of like the last turn?
No, I mean...
It did feel a little risky to you. I don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it was... he got a really good restart. He had a shorter first gear, as I said, than we did. So his jump was actually a little bit better than mine. And then on top of that, he had my toe. So I just saw it coming, and I had to defend. I didn't want to give the lead back. So, yeah, I thought it was the best thing that we could have done at that moment.
Did it feel slippery going in there, though, from where you were coming into that turn?
Yeah,
in one.
especially with all the pickup that we had that late into the race. Even at the beginning, at the start, I got some pickup that probably didn't help with my braking. But yeah, I got a ton of pickup, and actually it took me like until turn 7 to take everything out from the front right.
Yeah. And one last thing, what do you remember? I don't mean to bring up maybe a tough memory. What do you remember most about the 500 last year?
No, it wasn't tough. I mean, it wasn't easy, and it wasn't amazing for us when you have chances to win. But I mean, we had a really fast car and got into an accident on pit lane that wasn't our fault and wasn't in our control. And from that point, we switched our game, and it was about recovering as many positions as possible. And we did from 28th to 4th, which was, in my opinion, as much as we could have done. So I was proud of the job we did. So it wasn't, I don't have bad memories from last year. I really have really good memories.
Thank you.
All right. What I presume will be in Spanish. Eduardo Almos, INDYCAR Al Día. Go ahead with Alex.
Thanks, Dave. Alex, muchas felicidades. Ya te hicieron un par de preguntas en este sentido, pero con tu familia en el podio y pues obviamente el momento que llevas en mayo, ¿crees que estás tú en lo personal en el mejor momento de tu carrera o de tu vida?
Sí, yo creo que en lo personal, profesional y en todos los momentos estoy en mi mejor momento. Cada día que pasa es mejor.
Pero respecto a la carrera, ¿cuál fue el momento más complicado? ¿El arranque, la cuestión de ir tercero con ese stint con duros o el último reinicio y la maniobra sobre Will?
Creo que todos eran difíciles. La salida no ha sido buena, ha sido duro, nunca es fácil perder el liderato. Luego, cuando íbamos terceros, no era fácil porque íbamos con las duras y teníamos menos grip en general que Lungar y que Power. Y luego la arrancada tampoco, la resalida tampoco ha sido fácil. Así que creo que esos 3-4 momentos han sido claves.
¿Y el tránsito también fue complicado?
Sí, el tráfico hoy no ha sido fácil, ha sido bastante complicado. Yo creo que habríamos sido capaces de abrir un poco más de gap sin el tráfico. A lo mejor también no habríamos tenido tanta oportunidad de hacer un overcut sin el tráfico. Así que ha hecho que la carrera se mueva un poquito más de lo normal. Y bueno, creo que a todos, a los tres, tanto a Power, a Lungar como a mí, nos ha tocado en algún momento malo el tráfico.
Felicidades.
Gracias.
Thank you, Dave.
De nada. We'll wrap up in person. Nate, go ahead.
Hey, Alex, before you were in here, Christian Lundgaard was in here, and he was talking about the tire choices and combinations and how it affected his result. But then he ended his answer with, I'm going to quote what he said here. He said, Alex was just fast today. He was fast here last year in May. In August, he's fast wherever we go, really. So sounds like he considers you sort of the driver to beat, and I'm sure a lot of the drivers out there would probably say the same thing. That feels like you're the guy every week. How does that make you feel to hear that? And do you feel like your team's maybe the team to beat right now as the defending champion that's coming into the Indy 500 with a ton of momentum?
Yeah, I mean, it's great, but it doesn't come easy. Like, you can see what happened to us this weekend in practice 1 and practice 2. You can see that got lucky, got a save into turn 4. We were pushing, we were not cruising. Yeah, I give all the kudos to my team for giving me fast cars. Without the fast car I had in qualifying, I could have qualified P17 and had a terrible weekend. So it's I don't think it's all me. I'm just a passenger sometimes in that car. Yeah, I mean, we won last year, so we're obviously we have the best team. I don't think that there's huge differences in terms of performance, but there's really big differences in terms of executing. And my team is the best at executing and getting 100% or sometimes 101% of what we have every single weekend.
We'll leave it there for now. Congratulations on a great start to the month of May. Alex Blow, the champion today of the Sonsio Grand Prix. Thanks, everyone.
Un momento, ¿no?